Welcome back to the channel. June 6, 2025 was nothing short of legendary. A day packed with unforgettable moments across the sports world. We had 13 MLB games, we had heart-stopping Stanley Cup Final game number 2, there was a drama in the men's semifinals at the French Open, there was top-tier golf played at the Canadian Open. The action never let up. We witnessed overtime heroics, career milestones, plus new champions crowned in women's college softball and the women's French Open. Let's dive into all the information in the great day in sports history. All right, let's start off in baseball. The St. Louis Cardinals delivered the most dominant pitching performance of the night when they defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-0 behind Sunny Gray's complete game shutout. Gray was masterful. He marked his 7th win of the season and improved to 7-1, demonstrating why he remains one of the baseball's premier pitchers. The Cardinals offense provided ample support with timely hitting throughout the contest, while Gray struck out multiple Dodgers and never allowed the potent Los Angeles Dodgers lineup to find its rhythm. The Pennsylvania State showdown between the Pirates and the Phillies. Pirates won 5-4 in a nail-biting contest that came down to the final innings. David Bednar won his first victory of the season, going 1-4 currently, while Philadelphia's Romano took the loss, falling to 0-3. The New York Mets continued their early season surge with a 4-2 victory over the Colorado Rockies. Powered by clutch hitting and stellar relief pitching. All right, let's go to the Stanley Cup, where the Stanley Cup Finals saw the Panthers even the series at 1-1. The Panthers delivered one of the most thrilling games in recent Stanley Cup history, defeating Edmonton 5-4 in double overtime to even the series. The contest featured incredible drama, momentum swings, and individual heroics that exemplified championship hockey at its finest. Brad Marchand emerged as the hero for Florida. He scored 2 goals, including the double overtime winner that sent the defending champions into a frenzy. Marchand's breakaway goal with 8:16 into the second overtime period capped off a remarkable individual performance that included a crucial shorthanded goal earlier in the game. The game's most dramatic moment came with just 17.8 seconds remaining in the regulation, when 40-year-old Corey Perry jammed home a loose puck in front of the net to tie the game at 4-4. Perry's equalizer came after the Oilers pulled goaltender Stuart Skinner with 2 minutes and 33 seconds remaining, a decision that seemed premature but ultimately paid dividends. The veteran forward's clutch goal set the Rogers Place crowd into a delirium in enforced overtime. For those planning ahead, Game 3 of the 2025 Stanley Cup will be played in Amerant Bank Arena. That's in Sunrise, Florida, home of the Florida Panthers. The game is scheduled for Monday, June 9th at 8 p.m. Now, the Stanley Cup Final teams will travel a record-setting 2,541 miles from Edmonton, Alberta to Sunrise, Florida for Game 3, crossing 2 time zones and the entire length of North America. Whew, that's some travel. All right, let's head over to tennis. And as we're recording this, we saw Coco Gauff win her first French Open title in a 3-set victory. She dropped the first set, won the next 2, 7-6 and 7-5 in that tiebreaker, 6-2, 6-4. She took home the Suzanne Leweng trophy for winning the French Open. She will actually take home a miniature replica of that trophy, as the actual trophy will stay with the French Tennis Federation. This is her second Grand Slam singles title and her 3rd overall Grand Slam title, as she won in doubles last year at the French Open. Now, she won the French Open junior title in 2018. This particular win is her 10th singles title as a pro, and she also has 9 doubles titles. She's the first American to win the French Open since Serena Williams. She's the youngest American to win since Serena Williams. She's now number 2 in the singles rankings, and she's the youngest player to ever win both the singles and the doubles event since Maria Sharapova in 2004. Interesting note, this is 100th anniversary of the Women's French Open. The title was first won by the trophy's namesake, Suzanne Leweng, back in 1925. Let's switch over to the men's side, where we see Jannik Sinner defeated Novak Djokovic in straight sets, 6-4, 7-5, 7-6, to reach his first French Open final. The victory extended Sinner's remarkable Grand Slam streak to 20 matches, following his wins at the 2024 US Open and the 2025 Australian Open. Sinner's performance was nothing short of masterful, as he became the first player to defeat Djokovic in straight sets at a French Open semifinal. The 22-year-old Italian showcases improved clay court game, mixing aggressive baseline play with tactical precision that frustrated the Serbian legend. Djokovic, now 38, hinted that this may have been his last final appearance at Roland Garros, adding an emotional weight to this contest. Now, who's Sinner going to play against in the finals? That's defending champion Carlos Alcaraz, who secured his spot in his second consecutive French Open final by defeating another Italian, Lorenzo Musetti. It was 4-6, 7-6, 6-0, 2-0. Musetti retired with a thigh injury in that fourth set. This will be the first time that each have made the finals to play against each other, but it sets up a rematch of when they played 2 weeks ago at the Rome final, where Alcaraz won that. Now, Alcaraz all-time versus Sinner is 7-4 and defeated him last year at the French Open. So we'll see how that goes. Alcaraz is 21-1 on clay this year. This will be a generational clash between Sinner and Alcaraz, which promises to be one of the better finals in recent history, putting the two top players against each other in a Grand Slam final meeting. Again, Alcaraz is 7-4 in head-to-head matches and has won all 4 encounters when they play on clay. In women's college softball, congratulations to the Texas Longhorns. You came away with the title. You defeated Texas Tech 10-4. It was 10-0 after the bottom of the 4th inning. Texas scored 10 runs on 12 hits, including the grand slam from Mia Scott to cap off the title run for the Longhorns. This was the Longhorns' first ever softball title. They were the runners-up in 2022 and 2024. Congratulations to the Texas Longhorns on their title, and to Tegan Caven, who came away with the MVP award for the Women's College World Series. Next, let's head over to golf and back to the Canadian Open, which had their second round on Friday. Cameron Champ seized control of the RBC Canadian Open leaderboard, and despite entering the tournament as a 8th alternate just 1 week prior, he has a remarkable journey from alternate to leader that exemplifies the unpredictable nature of professional golf and the importance of preparation when opportunity meets. His second round, 66, moved into 12 under par overall, establishing a second round lead over Andrew Putnam. The 29-year-old performance has been particularly impressive given his recent struggles, as he has been alternating between PGA Tour and Korn Ferry Tour throughout 2025. Now, Champ acknowledged the mental struggles and challenges of his recent career path, stating it's been a grind and a mental battle. While dealing with the limited PGA Tour starts, his bogey-free performance through 36 holes demonstrates the talent that earned him 3 previous PGA Tour victories. All right, finally, let's head into college athletics, where a historic NCAA settlement was just realized through federal judge Claudia Wilken. She granted final approval to the landmark House versus NCAA settlement, marking a revolutionary moment in college athletics that will allow universities to directly compensate student athletes for the first time. The settlement addresses 3 major antitrust lawsuits against the NCAA and its power conferences, establishing a comprehensive 10-year revenue-sharing framework that fundamentally alters the landscape of college sports. Now, under this agreement, athletic departments will be permitted to allocate approximately $20.5 million in name, image, and likeness, NIL. The 2025-26 academic year, this represents a dynamic shift from the previous system, where athletes could only earn NIL compensation through external entities, including donor collectives that may have played significant roles in recent recruiting efforts. The settlement creates a direct pathway for schools to compete for talent through a legitimate compensation package. The final scope of the settlement is staggering, with the NCAA and power conferences agreeing to pay $2.8 billion in damages to Division I athletes who were previously prohibited from signing NIL agreements since 2016. These payments will be distributed over a decade, with the majority of funds expected to benefit former football and men's basketball players from Power 5 conferences. Current and former athletes will receive their shares alongside the legal representatives who pursued the case. Wow. As part of the new NCAA settlement, we're going to have a new oversight body called the College Sports Commission. They will be established to operate independently of the NCAA and to monitor the NIL agreements and ensure compliance with settlement terms. The commission will be responsible for investigating potential violations, enforcing rules, and penalizing those who breach regulations. The enhanced oversight represents a significant departure from the previous largely unregulated NIL landscape. All right, so we've reached the end. How will you remember June 6th? Will it be remembered as a pivotal day in sports history, featuring not only exceptional athletic performances across multiple disciplines, but also a groundbreaking legal decision that forever changed college athletics? Titles were won in women's college softball by the Texas Longhorns, and a ladies' French Open title went to Coco Gauff. From Brad Marchand's overtime heroics in the Stanley Cup to Yannick Sinner's dominant French Open semifinal victory, the day showcased highest levels of competition and drama. The comprehensive NCAA settlement approval represents an equally significant milestone, ushering in a new era where college athletics can finally receive direct compensation from their contributions to university athletic programs. And until next time, thanks for watching.